This game seemed to be mirroring a little bit of your season with the angst, I suppose, and all the suffering you talk about. Can you talk about the churning emotions, particularly when they made the run up the second half?
Yeah, I mean, it was microcosm of the season. I don't know, we got it to 9. We missed the free throw to complete the 3-point play, and maybe we're starting to get some momentum and some separation. But then I think we had maybe back-to-back possessions where we didn't finish pretty good defensive possessions and gave them multiple opportunities. One time we fouled the 3-point shooter. Another time we gave up a 3-point play to Waggy. That's been a microcosm of the season. Like whenever, we've been able to start playing, good basketball and getting separation, we've tended to shoot ourselves in the foot. But the thing about this team is we're really battle tested, and we've had to fight so hard all year, that we showed a lot of toughness down the stretch, to execute some things and make some critical shots and make some critical stops.
Okay, Jaden, all the way in the back.
But yeah, there was a lot of suffering going on.
And then we'll get you.
Dan, Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. I saw the play Alex was talking about, and I saw your reaction there. But I also saw when he passed up the shot, you said something to him. With a player as experienced and accomplished as Alex, what kind of message do you send in a moment like that? Because I know you said something.
Shoot the effing ball. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that was the exact way I should have said it. But like Alex is such, like a perfectionist and a smart player that he knows the quality of shots, and just with this team and this roster that he has around him, he's got to take more contested shots. He's got to let it fly more. He probably should have taken 14 shots in this game, and he cannot make that same mistake in the next one. When you play teams at this level, which is the best of the best in the tournament, like the windows are tighter. You're not going to get, you're not going to get, the perfect shot. So the only way we're going to win the game, especially with the way that Liam was shooting the ball at that point of the game, it's like Liam and Alex were both struggling. We were on life support. We needed one of them to step up and make some shots, and it was Alex.
Okay, let's go up front here.
Mark Zanetto, locked on UConn. Dan, you tied, or not didn't tie, but you won your 13th straight NCAA tournament game, not by double digits. Does it show how abnormal the last 2 years has been when this season is full of angst, as the other question was? And obviously you got it out a win today.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the last 2 years are just not, I mean, there's only 3 teams that have done what we've done, based on obviously the expanded tournament where you got to win 6 games. So, the only 3 teams that have been able to do that really since the tournament expanded are us, Duke, and Florida. And, just to be able to come here and number one, to make the tournament and fight our way in, come out here and fight with some honor and get ourselves, an opportunity to play, one of the best teams in the country that reminds, me some of what we put on the floor in Florida. But there's a lot of honor in us being able to, face the last team that, that went back to back. And, I think there's honor in fighting and getting to the round of 32 and making somebody put you down in this tournament to end this run we've been on. The run we've been on, if it wasn't for all of my antics and viral moments, obviously there'd be more focus on just what we've accomplished as a program the last 3 years. It's been an amazing run, one of the best runs anyone's had.
Okay, Jaden, we need to go in the middle first, and then we'll get you 2 gentlemen over here.
Hey, Dan, Jamie Shaw with On3. You preparing for Florida on Sunday. Monday, the transfer portal opens. How do you kind of have a dual preparation for that, in the next couple of days through the next, I guess, part of the process?
Yeah, I mean, we have we have an hour meeting, with the staff tomorrow, again, talking about, what the cap's going to look like, and all those things. You're definitely having those conversations, and you have I think an idea of of the players that you think really want to return and will be here. So yeah, I mean you're probably spending an hour, an hour plus every day on what's about to drop.
Okay, Jaden, go right here, and then one in front of him next.
Hey, Dan, you still obviously have a number of guys who've played in a ton of games like this the last 2-3 years. When things got tense in the second half, how much do you think that experience was a difference maker or separated you from them?
Yeah, I mean, the championship pedigree is it's still there for us. I mean, there's a belief in in the UConn jersey this time of year. With the history of success, and it was obviously Alex led the way, the guy that's a two-time champion, and then and Sampson and Hassan were huge. But then it was like to see Tarish Reed step up and do what he did for us in his first tournament game. Somebody's going to have to put us down in this tournament for us to go away.
Okay, we're right over here, Coach.
Dan, you alluded to it yesterday, but very often when a team survives a game like this in the first round, they've kind of loosened up a little bit going forward. And you haven't really had that pattern here, but do you kind of sense that maybe now that you've got this behind you, that you might be a looser team come Sunday?
Yeah, man, I think we missed some good threes. We made some real bad decisions in the paint where we had lobs to Sampson, or we could hit the roller in Taris, and we forced some things. Yeah, obviously we turned the ball over a lot, but I mean we did lead for 38, for 38 minutes in the game. I think we're gonna obviously. We know the quality that we're playing against. Obviously, we had a chance to see Florida in some of the cross scouts of watching, Oklahoma. We were able to see them and prepare for that. But yeah, I mean, I think we're a dangerous team. I think we're a dangerous team because, again, most people picked us, I think, to lose probably to lose the first game, and I don't think many people will give us a shot in the second one.
Okay, Jaden on the fourth row on the aisle on the edge there.
Dan, you just mentioned that Florida, what they're doing reminds you a little bit of what you guys did. What part of the way they're playing right now reminds you of yourself?
Yeah, I mean the bigs. I mean, it reminds me of kind of what we had with Sanogo and Klingon and Samson Johnson these last couple of years, where I mean they just keep trotting out big, skilled, tenacious two-way players that are all over the glass. And then they've got they got a lot of depth on the perimeter, and they're old. I mean, they're Clayton, who we obviously faced a couple of years ago at Iona. And then we played this Florida team a couple of years ago in Gainesville as Todd was kind of just getting this thing going, and obviously the addition of Martin. I mean, they got a lot of great pieces, and he's done a great job. I mean, their roster construction is really impressive, and the coaching job.
All right, Cooper, head back on the aisle there. This will be the last question, right there.
What's going to be the message to the guys to get them ready to take on Florida? You were mentioning a lot of fighter, a lot of underdog. Are you looking to instill some of that chip on the shoulder for a program that, as two-time reigning champions, has kind of been the hunted for a lot of the last 2 years? Yeah,
I mean, I think for us, we're going to obviously seriously have to game plan this one. With them and be able to, drag them into a half-court game and and just try to slow down their attack. I mean, when they get rolling, it's it's wave after wave. So, but for us, what we are, we come into this tournament as back-to-back national champions. So, obviously for us, we're we'll get these guys back, and I think they'll get a lot of confidence from advancing, and a lot of energy and a lot of belief. UConn and myself, getting out of the first round of the tournament. Once we get out of the first round, we've been pretty good.